Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another taping of the Angry and Ornery Show. I am Zoltan Mint, and we are coming live to you from the beautiful Avalon in Staccato in Second Life. We give that plug because our gracious host, Miss Cammie Larimore of the Larimore Estates in Second Life, is kind enough to let us use this spot to put our studio and tape our show live. So we put our plug in where we can. Anyways, welcome to the Angry and Ornery Show. Every 2 weeks we record this. It's basically a composite of pop culture, everything from things that are happening in the gaming world in Second Life, as well as movie reviews and TV show reviews and anything else that we think is cool and fun. So if you're watching this on the stream, thank you for tuning in. Tell your friends. Also, if you are in Second Life or can get into Second Life, come to our studio and see the show taped live. Tonight's going to be a fun show. It's kind of an open-ended show. There's a couple of specific things we're going to be talking about, so we no doubt will get into all types of hijinks. And to do that, I can't do it, of course, without my co-host, Mr. Lionheart. Come on out, Lionheart, if you will.
Good evening, and how are you?
I am doing peachy, thank you. How are you, sir?
I am fine, but I have a slight problem.
Your problems are never slight.
I could not find any electrical outlets back there, because you were saying we had to plug everything in, and I can't find any electrical outlets.
What could you possibly be wanting to plug in?
I don't know. You said we have to get our plugs in at the beginning of the show, so...
Right. All right. I probably shouldn't have asked that because God knows what you would plug in. But anyways, how are you doing? I know you're out west and I'm out east. And out east it's snowed and it's very cold still. And we're in spring and it's almost April. And you're somewhere out in the desert. So what's it like out there?
It's hot. It's real hot. There was a little guy outside today that burst into flames. It was great.
That hot? Wow.
Yes.
I see more people are arriving slowly but surely here, so stop calling me Shirley. Why don't we take our seats and we'll jump into this madness as quick as we can. We do have a new set. This is our third show, by the way, for those of you that are new to this. We changed the furniture slightly, just to make it a little easier for us to get into the chairs, and end up we propelled into the air like a lot of furniture in Second Life does. So this time it should be a little smoother, hopefully, and we can change positions and look lazy or look like we're alert, but mostly lazy, I guess. So Lionheart, we talked briefly about the subjects for tonight before the show, and you had mentioned something about a recent, was it a TV series or a movie that you were interested in discussing. Can you bring me up to speed on that?
So what?
Oh, great.
What? Who? How'd all these people get in my room? Okay. No. What my problem is why is there so much crap anymore being made and nothing decent? That's what my problem is.
Well, I think you have a big problem because I disagree with you completely, as is our want of the show. I think there is a great deal of quality that's being produced currently, both in TV and in movies. Music, not so sure, but certainly television. Just real quick, and I'll let you fly here, but I grew up a TV junkie. I was one of those kids that watched a lot of TV. I went out and I played a lot too, but I mean, I did definitely watch a lot of early TV.
They had TVs in the caves back then when you were playing with the dinosaurs?
They did, and your mom enjoyed riding them with me. But anyways, the fact is that during the or early 80s and basically the 90s, I didn't watch any television at all. I thought television just got so crappy and so horrible that I just stopped watching. So recently, in the last, I don't know, 10, 15, 20 years, I start watching it again. And I think it was because of shows like The Sopranos, these HBO series, and Lost, and things like that, which really had incredible writing, and it was starting to blow me away. And I think that started the trend in television currently. Anyway, so how could you say there's not quality stuff now when you have shows like Walking Dead and Breaking Bad and Mad Men and Hannibal and Almost Human and all these really cool TV shows now that people are binge watching? That's the new style of television watching now, is binge watching. Where do you come off on that? How could you say that there's not good quality stuff?
Because for every single thing you just named, there's a half a dozen things that are garbage. Let's look at like True Blood, The Originals, The Vampire Diaries, all these direct shows that they're making, Teen Wolf, all this garbage.
All right, now, first of all, I think you've just made a bunch of enemies by calling True Blood crap. I mean, True Blood is a beloved show by a huge fandom. And I personally have never seen it, but I've heard some very, very good things about it. I mean, it's basically vampire porn, right?
Yeah, but here's the thing. You get a little old gap-toothed gal from X-Men on it naked every 2 seconds, and I'm sorry, that's just kind of really gross.
Yeah, she's not a looker. I never thought she was that pretty, and people go gaga over her, and I'm like, really?
Yeah,
I mean, they could do better than that, but
she's a two-bagger, one for her and one for me. I mean, yeah. It's
wow,
it's
like you'd have a chance at anybody in Hollywood, dude.
You never know. You never know.
Dude, you're sitting there in your house right now in a dark room, naked with a bottle of whiskey in your hand. Tell me I'm not correct.
Hey, the room's not dark.
Okay, all right. Well, anyways, no, you had mentioned that you had just seen a movie and you wanted to talk about it.
No, I was mentioning how there was new films coming out, like Noah, that do we really need a 3-hour film about the building of the Ark, and that everybody dies? Oh, I'm sorry, I just spoiled it for everybody. A flood comes, by the way, and all the bad people drown. Do we really need things like that?
You definitely would have been one that drowned, but no, the thing about Noah is, it's got a powerhouse cast. I mean, I sort of like Russell Crowe, and Hermione's in it, right?
Yes, Emma Watson is in it. Why, I do not know.
See, that's cool. If Hermione's on Noah's Ark, then all she has to do is, fly around on her broomstick. She doesn't have to worry about drowning.
Oh, that was bad. That was bad.
I don't know. Anyways, no, you're not listening to me. Before the show, like yesterday or the day before when we discussed this show, what we were going to talk about, you said you wanted to talk about a specific thing or a movie of some sort. And I said, all right, you can talk about it. Do you remember me telling me that?
We had a conversation yesterday?
Oh, for God's sake. So there goes 10 minutes of your time, dude. So we're going to plunge into something. It was some type of I think it was, I don't even remember the title. I didn't write it down because I thought you'd remember. Some type of maybe British TV show that you rewatched recently and you really liked it and you wanted to talk about it. No? All right.
What's sad is you're yelling at me for not remembering, but you're not remembering yourself.
Well, it wasn't my idea.
There was a lot of things going through my mind, and it's just, right now it's kind of stuck on the dreck of the movies right now, and how there's just...
All right, I will grant you that there are some really, really crappy movies. I mean, and I wouldn't even go as far as saying that they're bad movies being made. There's just repeated movies being made, because art is dead. Let's face it, you can't really come up with anything new in Hollywood now for a movie theme. It's going to be retreaded this or that. But there are still some good movies based, on that premise. I did like the movie Gravity. I thought that was a really well-made movie. It was pretty suspenseful and exciting, and the graphics were incredible. And
You know
I
what?
really like the... Go ahead.
I liked that movie the first time I saw it, called All Is Lost, where it's the same exact film with Robert Redford, but instead of space, he's stuck in the middle of the ocean. So
You did hear that I prefaced that with that there's nothing new in Hollywood, right?
Yeah, correct. And it's
All right.
pretty much dead anymore.
But I do think there's probably more good TV than there is bad TV now. I will argue with you on that, because you're not watching like all these little small shows on IFC or AMC or well, AMC's not small, but I mean things like IFC or these little cable channels. Like there's even stuff on Nat Geo now, National Geographic. I mean, are you watching the current Cosmos, which I know is a retread, but it's a very, very good retread?
No, I am not, because I saw it the first go around.
It's much better. I mean, I loved Carl Sagan's Cosmos, and I watched it 3 or 4 times. I own the DVD set. However, this new gentleman, he brings a new spirit to it. They have these really cool animations involved, and it's all updated science facts now. And what I find really, really engaging about the new Cosmos is that they're taking no prisoners. I mean, they're basically calling dumb people dumb. And you know how ridiculously stupid most people are in their beliefs, whether they're religious beliefs or just a lack of knowledge for scientific fact. I mean, we're not going to get into a political debate here, but you know they cover creationism and you know evolution, and the dude pretty much all but looks at the camera and says, "You're dumb if you don't believe in the scientific facts." So you should be watching it. It's a good show. Everybody should be watching it. It's very, very educational, and it's entertaining and fun too. There's my plug for the evening.
I'm sorry, I'm busy watching Simpsons and everything that's on before it. So
that's what pretty much you're limited to, right? Family Guy and Simpsons, right?
Yeah, but you know what, though? There's more intelligent writing on those shows than most of the other things that are going on right now, so...
I would happen to agree with you there. I mean, the fact that The Simpsons has been the longest-running animated show on network TV says bushels about how good that show is. And
well...
And the audience would have to agree with this one, and you certainly would agree with this. Have you ever not seen a Simpsons show that has made you at least smile or chuckle? At least once.
I haven't. No, it's I'm always smiling and chuckling.
And what do they have? Like thousands of episodes now?
Yeah, there's a lot. And this past week they did the unthinkable, and Academy Award winner English actor Max von Sydow was actually the voice of a drunk painter. And I couldn't believe that he came in and was willing to do an episode of The Simpsons. So that really blew my mind.
Yeah, they get the greatest actors to voice stuff. I mean, just in the history of the show, it's huge stars will come in and do stuff. It's almost like an honor or a badge of honor to do The Simpsons.
Yeah,
rock stars, sports celebrities, you name it, they've all done it. But all right, well, if you can't remember what you wanted to talk about, then I'm going to talk about what I wanted to talk about.
Go ahead.
And I warned you, and that is The Walking Dead. We are now at the taping. This Angry and Ornery show, the last episode of the season is airing next Sunday, less than a week from today, and the show has changed and kind of morphed into something new, and you and I were talking about how it's kind of a new horror. And I suppose I should give you some of you guys out there spoiler alerts, because if you've not seen the last episode or the episode before that, I'm going to be referencing it. So, turn your volume down if you don't want to hear this. But 2 episodes ago, the writers and the producers took a huge risk by involving children in the show in the way of deaths. I won't name characters, but a little girl kills another little girl, and then that little girl is sequentially killed by an adult. And that has never been done on network TV, nor in cable. I guess it happens on HBO and stuff, but certainly not on normal cable shows like AMC. And that was terrifying, because in my opinion, I think what the writers did very, very cleverly was write a show that cornered all the adults into this corner where there was no escape. The way it was written, the little girl had to be killed. And by the way, we're not talking zombie little girl here. We're talking a live, living girl who had a mental breakdown. And there was nothing they could do for this girl. She committed murder. She killed her little sister, and she was about to kill a baby, thinking that they would return as zombies and be just fine. But of course, everybody knows that's not true. So this girl has had a psychotic episode, and she's dangerous. So the only two adults around her didn't know what else to do. And they're both parents, as I am in real life. And that's a really hard call. You know, you can't tie her up. You can't handcuff her. You can't put her in a room and leave her. I mean, this is a post-apocalyptic zombie world now. So, you know, they couldn't drag her around. They couldn't trust her. Everybody carries weapons now because you have to survive. This little girl really couldn't carry a weapon at this point because she stabbed her sister with a knife, and then apparently bathed in the blood, which was gross enough as it is. But so that begs the question: what would you do? And I ask you, Lionheart, and I ask the audience. I mean, if you've seen the show and you know what I'm talking about, you know, would you level a gun at a 12-year-old girl and blow her brains out because she is no longer safe to be around and you have no other recourse? And I couldn't come up with any other recourse. How about you, Lionheart?
You know, I'm kind of soulless and heartless at times, but yeah, I would have killed her. Actually, I would have taken her out long before she even became that much of a threat. You know, I would have put her in one of the jail cells and let her go long ago and just ditched her. I mean, they kind of brought it upon themselves. There was warning lights there the whole time flashing, saying something's wrong with this kid and they should have addressed it, and they didn't. I mean, yeah.
Wait, are you saying they didn't address the kid going crazy?
No, they didn't. I mean, it's just...
Oh, yes, they did.
Well...
And by the way, here, let me just argue that point. She had done serious things throughout the whole time they introduced her character. She killed 2 little bunnies for no reason. She was feeding rats to the zombies, live rats to the zombies for no reason. She was naming the zombies. Her and her sister and her friends were making that, you know, little game up. She was playing with dead zombies, letting them get real close and chase her. But the biggest thing that I didn't know about was back at the very first episode they introduced this little girl. And by the way, I forget her name. Can somebody in the audience tell me her name? Maybe we shouldn't say the name. That's really spoiling shit. But when they first introduced her, they made a point to point out that she would get hyper, and the only way to calm her down was for her to look at flowers. And to calm down, you know, just relax and look at flowers, wild flowers or cut flowers or whatever. They did that in the very first episode, which was, you know, last year. The episode she was introduced, that is. So at the very end, when they killed her, the person who killed her told her to look down at the flowers and to relax. Just calm down, look at the flowers, and relax. And she did. She dropped her head down. She started crying. She was looking at the flowers, and then bam! Her head's blown off.
Yeah, but what I'm saying, okay, in real life, if you were in this situation and a little girl was letting a zombie chase her and thought it was cute and funny, wouldn't you have, like, at least smacked the kid, done something to address it other than, that's bad, honey. You shouldn't have done that. You shouldn't let the zombie near you. It's not okay. And that's how they addressed it. I'm sorry. The kid should have been severely punished. I mean, they punished her enough by killing her.
One of our audience members, Subliminal, mentions the whole mice and men scene, and a lot of the fans have said that was a take right off from Mice and Men, and the producers and writer didn't admit that that's where they ripped it from. But on Talking Dead, which follows Walking Dead, the actors all agreed that it was definitely a Lenny moment. Don't forget, there was a scene, a couple scenes before that she was holding the baby and she had her hand clamped over the baby's mouth. And it looked very much like she was about to suffocate that kid.
Oh, no, I agree with you. But that's what I'm saying. I mean, when things were happening back then, when things were happening at the prison, they should have addressed it a little bit more than, let's look at flowers.
But the problem was they couldn't address it. They're all worried about surviving. They don't have time to look at, see that a kid is amiss or, just a little screwed up. They were worrying about living and finding food. And, remember, their camp had just been, the jail had just been attacked, and they were all scattered out there. So... and the little girl was not stupid about it. I mean, she was doing her best to hide her, her tactics or whatever you want to call them. But, again, shooting her like that, I don't think there was any other choice. And that's what made it sad, and that's what made it scary, and that's what elevated the show from being a zombie horror fest to a psychologically twisted mind freak, in my opinion.
No, and it was pretty, deep. But I don't disagree with what they did. I think they did the right thing. I'm just saying maybe something should have been done a lot earlier.
Right. Our audience here in SL are all saying pretty much it was the only thing they could do, and what else could you do? But there's no counselors, no teen counselors, Maya, to help the little girl out.
Yeah, I mean, anyways, God forbid they would have spanked the child on the TV, and then, you would have had all the, equal rights groups going, they've punished that poor child, and, the child suffered by getting a spanking, and you shouldn't do that to your children. But if you noticed, none of these groups have spoken out since they just blew the kid's brains out instead. And
well, that's what I was wondering. Did anybody make a stink about that episode? I mean, was there any right-wing groups? I mean, I would think people would have been throwing a fit about that. I mean, it was certainly blogged and all over social media, but nobody ever said that it was bad. They just were shocked.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything about any groups coming forward and going nuts. I mean, I think also all the crazy groups right now are out, protesting the fact that Frozen is out on DVD and that it has certain stereotypes in it, and they're all upset about it.
What is the stereotypes in Frozen?
I haven't seen the film, but apparently
I have.
They're going through and they're showing houses, and there's one house where it's not a mom and a dad; it's two dads and the kids.
Oh,
and
yes, you're right.
So they're now saying that Disney is promoting same-sex marriage and everything else, and that it's pro gay and everything else, and it's just, what? It's life. Get over it.
Well, I find that amusing because Disney came under fire after Little Mermaid and a couple of movies afterwards because of their subliminal sexual undertones in all of the films. I mean, Little Mermaid had the phallic castle, and it was there was a lot of gay writers and gay animators that were involved in the show, but I really didn't see anything that was shocking or, well, if there was subliminal, I guess I wouldn't have seen it in Frozen. Actually, Frozen ended up being a little better than I expected. I thought it was going to be another cookie-cutter animated film from Disney, and in general it was, but there was a lot of really good elements. I especially liked the message. If I hear that song one more time, Let It Go, I'm going to punch you as hard as I can, Lionheart, in the throat. I don't know why but you're sitting next to me. But the thing is, I love the message, the fact that she had this power and she tried to stifle it and she couldn't, and eventually, she just had to let her be who she was, even though that was perceived as maybe being a villain or evil. But she really wasn't a villain in the show.
So she basically let it go?
She did. We're going to let that go because I want to go right back to Walking Dead real quick because I wasn't done. We're coming up on the season finale, and the last show last Sunday had them reaching Terminus. Did I say it right? Terminus. Is it Terminex?
Yes.
No, Terminex is the company that kills bugs. Terminus, right, which is, as you know, in the old days was the end of the rail system ending in Atlanta. I believe it was right in the heart of Atlanta, Georgia.
Correct.
But anyways, they arrive at the gates. They come in on their own. The gates were, although closed, they weren't locked. They just walked right in. Yes, thank you, Maddie. But the fact is, they came up and lo and behold, there's Denise Crosby, tending gardens or something. This is Denise Crosby from the old Star Trek Next Generation show. I believe she was Tasha Yar, the security officer.
Yes, and obviously somebody beat her viciously with the ugly sticks, and she's been on that show.
Well, I have a harsh opinion of her anyways because, she was pretty much fired from Next Generation because of, differences, artistic differences. And then, like all dogs that come back with their tail between their legs, she comes crying back and gets on the show for a finale where they can kill her off. Or not kill her off, but bring her. Right. How did they bring her back? I don't even remember how they brought her back.
I don't even remember. Yeah, she was a female Will Wheaton, because he did the name exact thing.
Right. But anyway, so now the speculation in all of the fandom circles: what is Terminus, and how horrible can it be? It has to be worse than the governor's city. How bad can it be? And you and I talked a little bit again, and tell them your theory, because actually, I think you're right. And I hate to admit this, that I actually agree with you, but go ahead, tell them what you think.
I think it would be really excellent, the fact that since, they're not seeing anything, and how are these folks surviving? What if maybe in this weird apocalyptic world, if these people have become cannibalistic and they're eating the living themselves by, cutting them up and cooking them like a steak on the grill. I mean, that would be freaking awesome.
Right, and that would be definitely more horrible than the governor's world. But you also based this on the comic books, which, did you not say there was a character or a story arc that involved a group of cannibals?
Yeah, originally that's how Dale died in the comics. He was actually kidnapped and had been bitten earlier by zombies and didn't tell anybody, and was kidnapped by these weird men, and when he woke up from his, being knocked out by these guys, his legs were missing, and these two large men were cooking them over a flame and eating his legs, and, so, yeah, that's what they did there, so.
And still, as gross and as graphic as that is, it's still not as bad as shooting a little girl. But anyways, I think I'm going to take it one step further. I do agree that I think it's probably going to be cannibals, or at least some type of horrible evil cult. But I think it's a society that's based on survival with a lottery system. You can live in Terminus and enjoy all the spoils, which includes, fresh produce, maybe hot water, safety and whatever in this, little society, without any, buddy bothering you. But once a week or once a month or whatever, they draw names, just like a lottery, and whoever's drawn, I know this sounds a lot like the Hunger Games, doesn't it? Whoever's drawn is put to death and then cut up and ate.
Yeah, that would be pretty messed up. Yeah, it could happen. Who knows? Who knows where they're going with it? So,
well, for those that are interested, Walking Dead will be on this Sunday, 9 o'clock, I believe. That's the finale, the season finale. And then it won't be on until next October. So that will give you enough time to catch up if you're not watching the show. Because if you're not, you're missing some of the best TV out there. Regardless of what Lionheart thinks, there's good quality stuff out there. You just got to find it. Do you, sir, have any final thoughts?
I have final thoughts, but I can't say them out loud. It can mean a whole heck of a lot of trouble.
Right. Well, let's stand up and talk to our audience for a second. We always give Nos enough time to get her camera focused. So next week, guys, people in the audience, people on the stream, we are going to have a special guest. Can't wait for it. Hopefully, this gentleman can make it. His name is Harter Falls here in Second Life. And in real life, he is an artist. And in Second Life, he actually creates a lot of art, too. His art is considered like illusionary art. He creates these really cool prim things that fools your eyes when you look at them. He's actually did that in the past, but currently he's working with Mad P Productions. Mad P Production does these really cool like murder mystery adventures on Sims that you can go to, and you wear a special HUD and you can explore the Sim and figure out this some type of murder or mystery or whatever. It could take place in a old carnival or maybe who knows, haunted houses, whatever. But anyway, so he's on the staff of that. They have a large production team there. Excuse me while I turn around here for a second. Why are you so tall? You're gigantic, man.
Growth hormones.
Did you just say hormones?
No, I said growth hormones.
Oh, all right. You have to understand, Lionheart is drinking Jameson whiskey right now, and I'm sure he's pretty shit-faced, right? Can we say shit-faced?
No, far away from being shit-faced.
Are we allowed to say shit-faced? Nos, can we say shit-faced?
I don't know. I'm glad you explained what Mad P was, because I thought that was going to the bathroom with a hard-on or something. So.
No. So, anyways, catch next in 2 weeks. Catch the next show, the next taping, and meet Harter Falls and learn all about the things he's doing. Yeah, we're on an adult sim here, so I think we can say whatever we want. But anyways, hopefully we didn't offend anybody, and thank you, studio audience, for coming in and watching. And please remember that this in 2 days, this will be on YouTube, so you'll be able to see yourself probably, as well as the whole show that is heavily edited. But we'll keep the shit part in. Oh wait, the whole thing is shit. We got to keep that in, don't we? But then the show will tape again live in 2 weeks. So I want to say thank you again for everybody, and you all have a great week, and we'll see you in the Funny Papers. Good night, Lionheart.
Good night.